Salutations and happy 4th of July, folks. We are back at Media Universal, and we've been still the subject of each other at odds. But nevertheless, instead of in this debate against, we are still even on the accord to go with the same page of an understanding. Today, we are still back with Joseph Johnson in this live studio audience. Everyone, if y'all could just throw in, hey, how you doing? Hey. And so here, today's topic that we're actually going to jump on, and it's pretty good to get the fireworks booming for the good bang up today in this history for parental reprimands. Ways that parents do within youth raising, but then some ways that we all can come together as well to go over history of what we have been through that definitely taught us from our reprimands to thankfully, within our days of being adults, not run into those same problems that shaped and form us who we are today within our own views as uniquely as we are, but as one, as we share. Did you know that? All right. Some ways that you would, okay, parent of one. With, in this example, say your child does something, and, kids are just growing up and learning, right? But then you think, some kids are rebels, as we sit in Las Vegas, they are rebels, but they're growing and learning enough to come into their own independence of their free will within the choices of which they do learn. What are some ways, if I could ask, that you would be able to give? Honey, anyone from the audience, do feel free, or if you want to actually come on up to say some words. Ways that you would apply within reprimand, how to motivate that child and not so much deter, but get within this the lesson of it would help you going this way in the future. And then again, I'm your parent. You do what I tell you to do until you're an adult and moving out. So
I have an opinion on that.
Yes.
I have a 16-year-old, and what I see about that to be their friend as well as their parent. That way, if you get to form a relationship with them, if you have a relationship with your child, they'll confide in you if they feel they can trust you.
Why don't you get up there and send the chair up there so they can hear you?
No, they can hear just fine.
Really?
Yeah, they can hear just fine. I had a debate on that, sorry.
All right.
But it is not always good to be your children's
I'm not saying like a friend. I'm saying, but you got to be able to have that trust. I'm gonna go with my daughter.
Yeah.
I have a 16-year-old. Rebel, she is. Okay? She's the last of 8, so she's spoiled by everybody, and all of her siblings are adults.
Gotcha.
So she gives me, in the beginning, she was giving me the rules. Start from, the 6th grade?
Yeah.
From the 6th grade, just back and forth to the schoolhouse. If she is junior high, in high school, the 9th grade, back and forth to the schoolhouse. I had to find another avenue to deal with that child. Because I was tired of living at the school, because I did my education.
Yeah.
So I had to there has to be a medium. Because we got to realize, things are not the same when we were children. The discipline isn't the same. The conversations aren't the same. So therefore, we have to be able to talk with them. And they don't want to talk to us. They want to talk to social media. They'll text you from the next, go get that shit.
But at the same time, I feel that it is more important to be your parent, your child's parent, and then their friend. Parental responsibility should always come before
exactly.
Being a friend.
That's what I'm saying. But you got to realize this as well. Like I said, the whole thing. The whole thing of it is it's not like it was when we were growing up. Yeah, you do have to parent them, but how can you parent a rebel? Discipline, they're not listening.
It really comes down to discipline.
Exactly.
And then it comes down to the line of where discipline crosses into.
Okay, now that they have taken.
You have to be really careful on that, because now a lot of the problem that we have with children today is we can discipline our children all we want to, but most of the children today, I'm calling CPS, I'm calling
exactly.
police, I'm calling police.
1, 2, 3 kids.
And it's just like
They took discipline out of the home. They took discipline out of the schools. They tell you you can get a
I
child
don't
with
think the teacher should have ever been able to discipline.
No,
children.
they should have been able
It's
to.
my job to discipline my child.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I understand that, but I'm just fine. I'm 50 years old, and my teacher, Miss here I am. I'm gonna tell you, I remember writing this letter, when I sent this note home, and I forged my mom's signature, and I'm still alive, because she was serious. She was serious about that woman.
Yes.
And I'm not dead. I'm a different kind of person. I can look at life from a different aspect. Now my 14-year-old, she's rebellious. I'm a 6-year-old. She don't want to work. Last time I didn't get one. In Las Vegas, we got a roof over. She tried to jump out the window, had to grab her leg and pull her back in. She was like not average. She didn't want that program. But I told her that's when we have to talk.
Yeah.
This is if you don't want my hands on you, then you need to get it together.
If you need to listen.
You need to listen to what I'm saying, and you need to respect your elders. Children are not being taught today to respect their elders.
Respect them.
Why?
That's exactly what I just got to say.
Why? Because people are not instilling God in their children.
I honestly, I have to kind of debate that a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily about instilling God. I think it's just about instilling good moral value and good work ethic and a good sense of responsibility. Like, I actually got into an argument with my mother when our children were young. Our children were 5, 3, and 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, if they made their bed, they got so much money put in their piggy bank. Or if they helped unload the dishwasher, they got so much money put in their piggy bank.
Yes.
Or if they scraped off their dishes, they got so much money put in their piggy bank. And my mom started yelling at me about, well, they're too young to have chores. And it's just like, well, who are you to talk when I knew how to cook, clean, and do laundry by the time I was 7 years old?
I would go right to where it was, now today we forget how they would say it takes a village to raise a child.
Exactly.
Along with the help of the parents to nowadays some are a little more closed into I am a parent and this is my child and how I parent my child has nothing to do with how you raise your child, to where back then it was kind of like, if Miss Jenkins down the street saw you getting in trouble, you got your butt whooped or you got taken home, and then you got your butt whooped by your parents. If you didn't get passed on from the neighborhood.
That's what I was saying. Like, it's big money.
Don't take it as a racist thing. I think there's got to be a difference between growing up in a black community and growing up in a white community. Because I personally did not go to that. And the story that I've heard about, you go get passed down, you go from your aunt's house to your grandma's house, to your mom's house, to your uncle's house, to your sister's house. The stories I've heard about all of that, don't take it the wrong way, they always come from a black person. I've never heard of white persons from these stories about they got their mom behind everybody.
Unity. It's the unity. That was like he said, the village to raise a kid, it was the unity. And I went to school, I was like, there's only 9 black kids in my school. Me and my brother made 2. So I went to school. It's just all according to the individual. It isn't race or creed. It's the individual, how they feel about it. Because I don't see, forgive me, white people beat their kids at the grocery store that need it because the kid was throwing a tackle, calling my kid and screaming. And the lady picked her up.
I spanked my child right in front of the police.
Las Vegas, Nevada, correct me if I'm wrong, it is not against the law to actually spank your child.
It is not against
open hand or to reprimand the child. And some people feel, hey, that's a good start. But that's where within these combines, because our teenagers nowadays, they do find their outlets and their outreach within knowing at this point, hey, though I'm a teenager, I'm a kid that got rights against my parents, to where back then it's like, no, I'm your parent. The only right that you have is that
you come here and do your chores.
I brought you here.
I paid the price to be the boss. I paid the cost to be the boss. I run this, you don't shut your mouth, sit down, and that was it. Kids are supposed to be seen and not heard.
That's where you have the choice of being reprimanded.
I was raised a little bit differently. She made the comment that kids are supposed to be seen and not heard. I was raised by my mother that if you had an opinion on something, you are more than welcome to speak your opinion and speak your opinion to whoever you want, as long as you listen and respect about it. As long as, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
My name is Trina. I
I'm
apologize.
sorry,
as
yes,
well. Hi, Trina. Let me say, to be seen and not heard is not like just being visible. Children has, I have prayer and wrestling. Children have the audacity, really, to step into an adult conversation.
Yes, they do. A lot of them.
Children will stand on the side. He will tell you to shut the beepity beep up.
No, but it's, that's what my daughter is.
But I'm just saying, where is it? Where's the medium there? Where is it that we start? We just can't do them like we did when we were kids.
So I believe
Because of the laws and
I
because
believe
of the
that
changes.
positive reinforcement is just as powerful as negative reinforcement, if not more so.
I would say is again, and I know it's kind of at its target for me. It involves in the community because once a child thinks, okay, my parents isn't around, and I can get away with a little more with my friends and stuff. But then again, within the community that's around there, you'll have another adult, or even me myself, taking a look at being involved and being there within the community. Saying, I hear a kid cussing, I'm like, watch him out. And they're all like, well, I can say what I want. And I was like, the Parent Coalition knows who you are. We're everywhere. Whoever comes up, saying the future from the school to the community to the home to where it seemed like a caged light, but it's really like that pin, that playpen that you really can grow up until adulthood, to where you actually learn not only respect of saying, respect of being proud of your child to which you've raised as a parent, but then you also have another angle that respect that you were proud of that child. That's like, that's the student that was in my class. That was a good student. To where in some reprimands, some would say, okay, who are you to put your hands on my child? The one that's refraining from putting my hands on you because your child was very disrespectful to me.
I can't believe you speak to your parents.
I was at the park with some little kids, and me and my children walking in there. My kids are so funny, and the little boy just kept flipping and cussing right around me, like he was going in a circle, like he was trying to taunt me. So I grabbed him by his little t-shirt, and I pulled him to me. I said, I whoop kids. I'm not the parent that don't whoop kids. He's like, what's up? I said, do that, girl. I got whooping in the park. I said, now look at your mother. So I can let her know why you got whooping, because maybe if she'd have whooped you a long time ago, I wouldn't have had to go through this situation with you cussing me out at your age.
Exactly. On that note, folks, I would like again to invite you to call us. Call ahead, comment if you have any comments, any questions that you'd like pertaining to the subject today, discipline, and how to be a parent, whether you should be your parent's friend or your child's friend or parent. Please do call in. It's 702-984-6843. Again, that number is 702-984-6843. We'd love to hear from you.
Getting back to it, what are some ways we could invite everyone, if they could throw in ways that we could reach kids to not so much put over where it has been, I'd say, a rule break, nevertheless, and it's in between the lines through laws as parents and children have their rights in, and of course parents, it shouldn't have to be said you have your rights as a parent. But how do we go about as a community, as parents, as teachers, to reach those kids to kind of motivate within growing up, within the environment of every day of what they go through with learning in class from the environment versus getting out into the world, to where then you got a lot, like this is a big classroom that we're in now, that we're still learning from everything around us. We're still picking up things that is sometimes reminded, sometimes things that we didn't even know. So how will we be able to actually nourish the kids around us? And we're talking teenagers to even little toddlers that will look up to those teenagers.
I think that comes down to kind of what Trina said at the beginning of the show and building a relationship with your child. Yeah. And I think a great place to start is the dinner table.
Because you're right, because a lot of people don't sit down at the table anymore.
You talk to your child.
Find out who they are.
What did you do today? What did you learn in school? Was there any situations in school that, were kind of tense? Was somebody fighting? How do you feel about that? What, could that situation, actually sit there and talk to your child like they are a young adult, because in her case with a 16-year-old daughter,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
is
wow.
a young adult, and she's gonna be out there in the world on her own.
You gotta get involved in their
no time. You
lives.
have to be, and I do believe that she's correct on that, because that's how, I was raised. My mother
You have to be
was
involved
not
in
just
their
my
lives.
mother, she was my friend, and because of so, I never really got in trouble.
If
I
I could
never
ask,
really had to deal with the
Because
ass whoopings.
You have a
And
friend.
like
You have
that,
a friend. You have somebody to.
I
It's not
feel
really
like
so
I
much
had
as my
to
homegirl.
for my
You know, she's not my homegirl. I know she's my mom,
But
but
you're
I
not
can
confident.
confide in her. Think about women, girls. We as females, y'all just brush it up, brush your shoulders off.
Mhm.
But we as females,
We
we
need
need to talk about it.
good. Congratulations for you, to being a daughter and son.
You know, and my daughter had to bring that to my sister seriously. My oldest daughter, she told me one day, Mommy, you always let girls get away, and I gotta do this. I'm in the washing dishes, he out there playing.
Okay.
He was supposed to be taking out the trash. I didn't know he was out there having a good time, because she said, you're stricter on me, and here I am. I can raise a girl. I raised those boys too, but hey.
How about where as parents you would not only say start at dinner time, to get to know the child as a family thing, but then inviting their friends. I know nowadays when as parents you do have your friends invite their friends over. Yeah. So we invite their friends over and you just kind of looking as like you're not really expected as a friend to them. They tell me all kinds of things about you.
All of my
We get
brother's
to
friends
know.
and all my friends, they all called my mom.
That my kid friends do the same thing. I am the big mama to everybody.
I'm taking on getting to know them too within I would say circulate, not only reciprocate to them like, hey, you can confide in me just like my child confides in me, but within this relation give you a better want and a better way to then connect to your parents through example and not so much saying, hey, look at me and my child and how we interact. You should interact with your parents this way. It's like, well, I raised my child just fine. Damn, thank you.
That's been my life. My life has been the little girl next door, come over. You know, they're older than me. I've always had my nieces around. And that's what the kids who come over. I remember this one little girl, she was 16 years old. My mama called her Clinton. And she used to come over all the time, and she got pregnant at 16. And she came to me and she told me, I said, what did you tell your mom? You know, and she's like, she gonna kill me. I said, well, let me tell you this, you got 3 days.
There you go.
You have 3 days. I'm not gonna go against you, I'm gonna give you the time. So, because I still want this child to be able to trust me. Because they have to trust somebody. And the way the world's going now, you know, they need to learn and get discernment on who to trust.
Yeah, like a lot of parents out there right now, if they feel like, this person, you've got your little cliques of friends, especially when you're talking about high school kids, you've got your little cliques here, you got your little cliques here. And a lot of parents have come to the point today, well, if they feel like there's one bad little seed or this person is a bad influence on my child, well, you just can't spend any time with that person. A lot of parents are doing that, and really I don't think that's the approach that the parents that have relationships with their child should be taking. I don't think you should be trying to, because a lot of times when they are that bad, so they are the bad influence, they're acting out because they feel like they've already been outcast. So you don't want to outcast them more so much as you want to try to pull them in.
I look at the world at a different angle, like I said before. From when we were and where they are, it's like even if we do stand out and know their friends, if you don't have a relationship, you don't know if you're lying or not.
Exactly.
You don't know if your child is a bad influence on your child.
Exactly.
So how can we step in? I have
to speak from a male son's point of view here, if I can, These daughters, I'm a man with 3 daughters, if I'm from a male's point of view, being a son growing up.
Must have been a bad child.
I wouldn't say first. But definitely learned my lesson as a young man to an adult. With putting in a position to say if you did have a son, to where some would say it's much easier to raise a son than a daughter, or where it would be much easier to raise a daughter than a son. I would say in this relation to growing up, say you do have that daughter or you do have that son where their surrounding or their social circle, so to speak, is of the opposite sex. One, you know they're growing up, you know it's around the time of hormones, you know. And then again, if you are young, you know, hormones is there, but that don't mean go and get your little girlfriend or get your little boyfriend and say, hormones is okay. No, it's not. Get your education first. It is the sexiest thing that can't be taken away from you, not even if you do plastic surgery. Just saying. But,
I had my share. See, I had
how
four
would
boys
you
and
address
4
that
girls.
within?
I had 4 boys and 4 girls. So therefore, I had to do it both. So I had to deal with them boys, and them boys scared me. Not scared me as the streetwise. It's just the stuff that they should have been showing a man when they got of age, because they're not little boys anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need them slapping me in my face with their persons, their business, and telling me, "Mama, check this out." No, I need a man to check that out for you. You know, it's time for you. You're not a little boy. I have to tell them that, you know, because they call me, I'm not a little boy.
I remember when I was growing up, my stepdad, because my biological father was out of the picture when I was very little, but my stepdad and my brother, they started getting into it one day, and they were getting hardcore. And, you know, one's going to kick one's ass, the other's going to kick the other's ass. They're just like, and my mom, she went into my brother's room, and she grabbed both the sets of boxing gloves. I had 2 brothers, they were a year apart. She grabbed the boxing gloves. She threw one at my brother, she threw one at my stepdad. She said, "Take that shit outside." And they went outside, and they strapped on them gloves. And when it was all said and done, they came back in. My brother Michael had much more respect for my stepdad, Dan. And Dan flat out said, he said, "You know what, he may only be a 16-year-old boy, but I wasn't going to let him hit me again."
So between mother and daughter, and I mean, just to kind of give it that enlightenment and not that surrounding thing, the parents are going to be on top of you kids from now on. Whatever it was between mother and daughter, would it be wrong to then throw like a kitchen set in front of them and be like, "All right, you know, take that to the kitchen"?
That's totally sexist.
Just,
That was
they throw a box in there. We're trying to get rid of the barbarians and show them love.
That was so sexist.
I just want to say about personal experience, because my mother was me and her grew up together, because she had me when I was 8, so she was 18 years old. And it was a very huge disservice of my mother not to be a parent. I don't know how to be a wife. I don't know about a family unit. I mean, I didn't learn any of that stuff. You know, my mother was a single mother, and she had boyfriends, and they all spoiled me rotten, and there was no discipline. By the time she tried to discipline me, it was way too late.
Absolutely.
And she dropped me off on a corner when I was 14 years old.
When a child becomes
Wow.
set in
So,
their
I
ways.
But I was, she grounded me for a year, and I moved out. I left. I mean, it was not that, but she picked me up one time and took me to lunch, told me how she was going on a cruise, and dropped me right back off, and I was on the streets. I was on the streets when she picked me up. You know what I mean? But that was but there was never any discipline. Thank me one time.
That is one of the biggest things. Some mothers won't discipline their kids when they're single parents because they don't want to they feel like it's already a void there.
Well, it was my mom's guilt because my mother still blamed herself for my father committing suicide when I was 5 years old. So, I mean, it was huge it's huge that I have a relationship with her now. And the only reason I have a relationship with her is because of my husband. Because my husband wrote her a 7-page letter about how I was changing my life, and she didn't believe it until she saw it. She didn't believe it until a year ago.
Again, folks, just another reminder, Death Deadly, please call in. And I mean, it's 4th of July. We're all coming together on a celebration to within noticing of America's history from then till now, as we as the melting pot grow and thrive to actually become, what am I trying to say? Evolved. but still evolve as one to where not separately to be more than the next and superior or inferior. Again, the phone line is 702-984-6843, Radio Tribute. And we're just on the subject of reaching kids and maintaining parental reprimand from then till today, and examples that some may find aware totally in a household, but then how aware outside the household to then help all of us as a community, as one, find that common ground to sustain that that perfect world without Walgreens. But
I've got one more thing. This is what I think is the problem with this world that I don't even know how we're gonna fix, is we got away from the family unit. They
Totally agree.
if we don't get the family unit back, if men don't learn how to be men and women don't learn how to be women, and we stick together and live life together, then we are going to, I mean, it's true.
I just had a woman say, when I said that, the first thing would go, roles as a man, role as a woman.
It has to be.
It's not necessarily the same roles as a woman or roles of a man. You say, hey, learn to grow to be a man, which means
To be a man, not what these boys are today.
exactly.
Not what they are today. 'Cause they don't even know how to be men.
But you gotta look at it like this. Half of these men are walking around, the grown men are sagging with pants.
Okay, so the grown
That's
men
an obvious.
don't know how to be men.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that, that's where it goes, like, I don't know, I'm so spiritual, I'm trying to do this backwards. But that's where, like, in the Garden of Eden, when Eve had Adam eat the apple, that's where it goes to God asking, where are you, man? Man, where are you? Why, if you were the man, did you allow that woman to give you that apple? I made you ruler over all things first. Men, step up to the plate. We need men to step up to the plate. I gotta give it up to the men in Vegas. I see a lot of single fathers.
I do too.
I see them with their children going, you Las Vegas men, y'all do what y'all do. Y'all take care of y'all kids. If the women want to act like they crazy, get your babies. Step up, that's stepping up to the plate.
That's man.
That's the man.
Men that take care of their.
They're taking care of your offspring. Nobody else is taking care of your offspring. The mother act up, you do it. Because when the men act up, we do it. So, fair exchange ain't no problem.
I would have to defend the man here, I'm in arm's length range, and this may get to that radio edit, and if it does cut off, I'll be back. Just some damages is okay. But I think this is where young men and even older men do find a way, or where I'm trying to reach as a man, to learn from my elders as well as the youth that will be here after. And this is where we try to align, keeping aware of what they teach in our unawareness and just being ourselves and just going about, our lives as men, to try to have other men around us, young men growing up, to say, hey, find the better lesson of me that I could teach you, instead of looking at what would gain the status to at my stable, even within his bed. Because with what I've learned from different men, and some to the point that they would see that part, and it's almost bad that nowadays it would be some of the smaller, less noticeable things that if you do prevail that or you do display that of what you learned, like, you learned that from them? You almost look like him. I think he's trying to mimic him or something. It's like, well, it's not. It's the sacred bit of part of life.
What children learn as you display, you're just being yourself. And
versus 1 and 2, I'm going to teach you this one.
And things like that is important to remember, and I think this is where a lot of parents kind of get a little off track, is they think of them as children, and because they're children, that they don't understand the certain things that are going on around them. That is 100% false. Your children are much, much smarter than you give them credit for. They are not children. They are little human beings. And what they absorb so much through what they see and what they hear. And if you're out there acting, running down the street with a beer in one hand and a blunt in the other, and you out here screaming at the police and acting a damn fool, Well, your kids are learning to go out there and act like a damn fool.
I have to agree with that because my husband, Kenneth, he worked 2 jobs for 4 years straight. Now, my son at the time was in high school. He's 25 years old now, but he was in high school. And then I have 4 boys, so all of them got a chance to see him be a man. They know what it is that a man that don't work, don't eat. They know that. And that's what they come back, especially the 25-year-old, always come back to him and tell him, thank you for just being a part of my life. Because of you, I made it. He went to high school, he graduated, and the things that he did, and I remember him saying he wanted to move out when he was 17.
Yes.
17, he said he wanted, I'm moving out. So he was feeling himself some kind of way. So my husband took him on a walk. Took him on a walk and said, okay, you're moving. Let's go check out these apartments. So they go check out the apartments. He said, okay, you're going to need first lesson security for that one. So they're tallying up these things. And he told them, you're not going to take our towels and our dishes and our soap and our tissue. So therefore you're going to have to have your toiletries, you gotta have your bed, because you can't take the bed from our home either, you know, you have to leave everything that's here, stays here. When you step out there, you step out on your own. And my son comes back and tell him, thank you. He got married at 18, he adopted his child at 18 from some other woman, but he adopted his son. And then he got married and he had another son. And all he wants to do is take care of his family. Only thing he think about is, how am I going to get to work? What can I do to work? And like he wasn't working for a minute, it like put him in a slump. He don't understand. I'm not a man. He feels I'm not a man, a real man, if I'm not bringing it to the table. And that's what men need to know. We have to bring it to the table. Women and men have to bring it to the table. It's not a racist thing. We are, and in training up a child the way that it should go, we have to deposit the things in their lives. Sometimes we live an abrupt life.
Exactly.
But when it comes a time when you have to say, okay, I have to deposit better in them than I had in me.
That's why I go for the dishes and the bed making and, the helping fold laundry. That's why they got paid a little bit.
Exactly.
It might have been much, but,
But it was something.
For a 5-year-old kid, 50 cents is a lot. It teaches them at an early age, like, Mama's not rich, honey. I can't hand you the world on a silver platter. You're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to work for it.
If I would say, how would, and from your own views as well as some other views too, how would an adult, or if you could give some examples to how an adult can actually approach their kid to within, give them that confidence and that confidence that I am a child that is in a safe environment to flourish, to learn, and to actually not be treated as if, I am a small-minded, child growing, but I am a child with a mind that can grow and hold so much.
You pray.
What would that extent be, though, to say, yes, you can grow up and the sky's the limit, but you're still a child. You're in a child's place, this is an adult's place, but when you are an adult.
Because that comes from parenting. Once you parent your child, they're going to know. Because, you can give, exactly. You like she said, you guys giving them the change for their little chores. They understand that. That is setting a boundary there. I know if I complete this task, I'm going to get it. So therefore, when they step out into the world, if I complete this task, I'm going to get my paper.
There you go.
By being an experienced parent, you let them know there's going to be stumbling blocks. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. The same time she is speaking about dilly-dally don't want to play around in the streets. I'm an older gentleman. I've been in the streets all my life. I said, A is going to happen, B is going to happen, C is going to happen. When you go out there and you want to play with these games and these people out there. He went out there and went through all 3 stages of those things. He came back and said, you know what? I'm sorry for any time I ever did listen to you, anything I didn't do, everything you said was going to happen. My friends turned on me, stuff disappeared, things just didn't go right. You were right. I didn't take no place to say I know I'm right. I'm like, I'm never going to tell you kids nothing wrong. Just listen to what I tell you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to give it to you straight. It's going to happen the way it happened from my best experience. If I don't know about it, I'm going to tell you I don't know about it.
That reminds me of a story, actually, with our youngest child, Savannah. We used to live on a 7th-story, in a 7th-story apartment. Well, as everybody knows, heat rises. So we used to crack the window. And we had a couple friends over one day, and we've been having a problem with Savannah playing by this window. And I kept telling her, Savannah, stay away from the window. Savannah, stay away from the window. Savannah, stay away from the window. And one day, I finally just looked at her. I said, Savannah Rose, you stay your little ass away from that window. I'm not going to tell you again. And she looks at me and she says, why, Mommy? And mind you, she's like maybe a year and a half old at this time. You know, and I just looked at her. I said, because if you fall out, you'll die.
That's it.
That's it. End of story. If you fall out, you'll die. And she's like, then there'll be no more Savannah? Then there'll be no more Savannah. And I'll
This
die.
was to a
And
2-year-old
yes,
little girl.
you'll die.
You'll get that.
And she from that day forward, I never had another problem with her staying out playing at that window. She comprehended and understood, well, if I do this, this is the consequence.
These are the consequences.
Mommy's not going to whoop my ass. I'm not going to go to bed early. I'm not going to not have dessert. I'm going to die. Like, you know, this is what happens. You know, my actions have consequences. And just like, you know, your positive actions, they have rewards. Those negative actions, they have consequences.
That's what it takes.
Our friends look at us and they're just like, did you really just say that to your child?
I really just told her the truth.
Yes.
I really told my child the
I
truth.
really just told my child the 100% God's honest truth. If she falls out of the 7th-story window, she is going to die. Why am I going to sit here and sugarcoat it for her? Why am I going to sit here and lie to her? I'm not going to lie to her because she's little. That's going to teach her the wrong things. That's going to, you know, what's the point in doing that? That's going to make it harder for me in the future.
That's why it's so far off subject, but then surrounding it. What if you could give an example? I mean, everyone also again. If you could throw an example, some of the things that you've learned from the very environment and surroundings of where you have been from your childhood till now, till adulthood, to where you can say, you know, I picked up and learned this from someone who has no idea I even learned it from.
Oh, wow.
Because then some folks are not even aware of what you learned from in our surroundings of wherever you are, and some within implementing a constant awareness to respect for elders as well as the youth that is becoming.
My mom doesn't even know I live off her strength. Her strength, my mom was a single parent. And when we were growing up, I was the nosy kid because I was the middle child. I was in the corner when nobody seen me, listening to everybody business. I could tell you what happened to who shot you. I'm so serious. So I know the struggle. Being that child that was always there, I know her struggle. I know her tears. When she cried, she didn't even know I was on the side of her. I know, so I live off her strength. And it taught me how to raise my own kids, because I wasn't always married, but I had to share it.
See, I kind of have the same thing, but a little bit on the opposite end.
Yeah, it's just like, she never knew that. Because everybody say, I'm you're so strong, but y'all don't even know that sometimes I have to reiterate and go back and think about what my mom had done in this particular situation. When it was us, it was 4 of us. I had twice as many as she did, you know. So when it was us, you know, I had to think about it. And I have to say, because there have been some times, I don't know, she gonna probably get mad about this one, but I remember one time she told us we was all on the fast. She told us we were all on the fast, right? And we didn't have food. So she told us we were fasting. See, I was a kid, I don't know what no fasting was then. I said, okay, well, she said, you just don't eat nothing. I'm like, I'm hungry. I'm not just like,
That's the fast way for you to start.
that's this way. You know, but she had these, I don't know if you guys remember, the treetop pineapple juices, the oranges, and juices come real little like this. So she had had some of those. She said, okay, we're going to drink juice. There wasn't no food. We knew fast. Okay, we're fast on this juice. But we're hungry. But the fact still remains is when she told us that, she sat with us. And she was there. So she was fasting with us. You know, so whatever it was at that time, it let me know that no matter what, my obstacle may come in my way, because of my mom, I can make it.
See, I kind of along those same lines, but a little bit differently.
And feel free to jump in at any time out there.
My mom taught me
any kind of view that we can.
what not to do as a mother.
I like that. I like that.
And that's really the nicest way to put it. And so I do believe that because of what she showed me growing up, that I was like, well, I don't want my child to experience that. That my mom taught me in a way. She taught me to be a better mother because I'm not going to do this to my children, and I'm not going to do this to my children, and I'm not going to do this to my children. And like, see, me and my mom, we never went to the mall, we never went to the movies, we never went to go get our nails done, or, do any of the girly things. I didn't go to prom, my mom wasn't taking pictures, I was walking out the door, we didn't do any of that. And that reminds me, just like, no, but those are experiences in my lifetime that I missed, and I didn't want my daughters to miss that. When my eldest daughter turned 5 years old, I took her to the nail shop with me. They didn't do much. They just cut her nails, pushed back her cuticles, and put some little pink nail polish on.
Yeah.
But to a 5-year-old girl,
It was awesome.
that was the world. I got my nails done with mom.
Mm-hmm. But that was cool because my mom, she still takes me to get my nails done. When I got married, the first time I got married, when I got married, my mom made everything. I didn't know she could do that. She made the cake toppers. She made the little things you put on the table. She got her a glue gun, and she went all in. So I'm not saying we had the perfect childhood. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying relationship.
You had the perfect relationship.
But I was spoiled. I was the type that would fall out and that goes smooth under the table. She can do what I want her to do. No, seriously. She take me out to
I
dinner.
was the youngest, the only girl, and my
Oh my
brother
God.
was 8, 9 years older than me.
She tells everybody that story. How she take me out to dinner and I go smooth on the table. I didn't like pizza. I hated it.
I would say, what about from like outside influences to kind of help nourish that? I mean, of course, you're gonna have the things that you learn from your parents, obviously from your teachers, but from the neighborhood that you grew up in, where there's some things like, I know the neighbor down the street, I forgot the name, Mr. Jones. He always came out, and when he did go for a walk around the block, you think the guy just walking around the block taught you this. Yep.
I would have to say my best outside.
Because he just walked around the block, but when you look at it
my
specifically.
absolute best outside influence when I was growing up, I think would have had to have been my high school volleyball coach. It was Coach Monica Martin. Absolutely amazing woman. Wonderful coach. And she taught me, believe it or not, my own mother didn't teach me this, but she taught me that, even when, you're playing a game of volleyball, you have to win by 2, but they usually go up to 15. Okay, you down 9-15, or you down 9-14, but you can persevere, and you will persevere. My coach taught me about perseverance and about standing up and not giving up and trying again and trying again and trying again. Okay, you didn't get that set quite right. Try it again. And she's the one that taught me, basically, like the horse goes you walk, you get right back on it. So I have to say the most positive outside influence in my life when I was growing up was probably my high school volleyball coach.
I think mine was just my peers.
I
Peers.
can't really think of outside influence right now, but I was thinking about discipline and stuff that you guys were saying earlier, and it went back to memories of my dad. Like, I really wasn't a bad child. I can basically count on 2 hands the amount of discipline I got as a child. And I can honestly say I wasn't abusive or anything like that. The discipline I got, I deserved, because I know for a fact I did what I wasn't supposed to do. And when I talk to my dad and I bring these things up, he just sits back and laughs and says, I don't even remember that. I remember something about it, but, it's just, I thank him all the time. That's one thing, all you people out there that's older, my age, or young kids, tell your parents thank you. Tell them you appreciate them. Whether you're doing good or whether you're doing bad. That's the parents' biggest fear, that I fail, that I not read the right handbook to be a parent. Because there is no handbook on being a parent.
And that's what we would say, do not impose. Honor thy mother and father, and the days will never get old. Listen to your parents and your teachers They won't steer you wrong. Nevertheless, they will within the two of point A and point B that it's in between help you learn from the very environment that you're growing up around you. And to always have homage and respect for oneself through actually respecting everyone around you, your elders, your youth, your peers, and under you. That would within its relay of its rotation about to where some feel, well, you know what? If I don't give respect first, I ain't giving it. But then if you are giving it and not really worrying about where it is upon oneself that it is given to, you'd be amazed at how much you give yourself that respect, just doling it out. And it just comes back in an immediate bounce. You'd have to experience that too, Father. Some are probably going to say, easier said than done. But we all can and reach that point that it was, it's not abolished, but in its respectful time that it was coming to now, that is almost lost. Damn near transparent. Or darn near, excuse me. But, it's twice now.
I have two teachers. My third grade teacher, Miss Fitzpatrick, because I was like I never knew how to sound out words. I still word, and I just knew it was. That was God given. You know, so sounding out, I still can't do it right today, so it doesn't work for me. And Miss Fitzpatrick used to always tell me, I used to get down in the third grade because I would pass up to everybody else, and then they would say mean things. Like, I thought I was a smart, but she told me to continue to strive harder. You continue to go forward. You don't have to stay stagnant in your place. Right there. You don't have to. And she had me make a cookbook, you know, with different recipes. I was in third grade. And something, you know, what I could remember. Well, all the kids didn't pay this, but what I could remember on how to cook certain things. I just knew what my mom did. I didn't know how to cook. So she told me that I was, she said, it's a difference in being, you're bright. That's what the word she used. You're bright. And I didn't understand it at the time. And I wanted friends. You know? They didn't want to be my friends. But she told me to just, you don't buy your friends. And that was something I had to do with my daughter. My daughter, when she got into about the 4th or 5th grade, she had the same thing because she would advance. But the little girl would tell her, you got to bring me hot chips and I'll be your friend. And then the girl would do the same. Little girl had a party and told her, you can't come. But then the next day she told her, you got to bring me hot chips. Now, when my daughter kept asking her about these hot chips, I'm like, why in the world am I buying giant bags of hot chips every day? And she finally had told me this. And when she told me, I said, and then she came home crying and told me, little girl, and invited to a plum party with me. I told her to strive better. So what I did is, so you will have your slumber party. And in this slumber party, don't invite her. And she'll learn a lesson on how to treat you. The little girl was not invited. All the friends came, and all the kids went back to school the next day, and I told her what a wound down time they had, and now she was sad. And then I told Sequoia to explain it to her. I don't like the way you treat me. I do. I don't like the way you treat me. If you're going to be my friend, be my friend. That was what I learned from Miss Fitzpatrick. Now, I was a speed reader in 6th grade, and my reading teacher, Miss Brown, she told me, I know you can read that. I said, okay. She said, I look at your scores. You can read that. And I was like, I can't read. I could read it as fast as they wanted me to read it. And she sat there with me. I promise you, the whole little reading, you know, I got a separate reading class, that whole period, until I read it. As fast as she wanted me to read it, I knew you could do it.
Oh, well, if I may say, ask, if you have received an imposed positive influence, for example, of course, from a parent to a child, where you are a child and you're doing this, and your parents like, I know you didn't do that, or I know you can do more than this, and you're just like, you know, I really can't, you know, I'm trying the best that I can, and it's, have you ever tried to rephrase to the child, well, not that I know you can to impress me, I know you can to bring a, you know, content to yourself to know this, to where you can break that barrier of its struggle to not see me here. But have you actually, you know, how do you feel that receiving that yourself have actually motivated you to then kind of breach that barrier to where that learning would present an obstacle to learning?
You know, I was a hard parent, teacher type person because of the education. To me, education is essential. So without an education, I couldn't imagine not being able to read trivia.
I couldn't agree more.
You know, it's essential. And so when it came to that, you know, I had them kids that slacked off. I got none of them. So I'm good with all these different personalities. They be tripping. And I had the ones that, like my son, oh my God, he's running so crazy because he bring me these FUs.
The report card would actually say
That's right.
You know, and so I told him what he was really telling me, you know, and then I quizzed him. He was smart as a whip.
That's like
He just didn't like school.
That's like our
He didn't like to
eldest
write.
daughter. That's like our eldest daughter, my aunt. When we moved out here from San Francisco, well, California has got a better education.
You better know that I'm from California.
Than Nevada does. And in California, my
I'm
daughter,
sure it's university.
our daughter,
I never thought I heard anybody else say that because I said that my own self. I'm sorry, but
California has a much better education system than Nevada does.
It
You
does.
know, and when we're in California, they're telling me that she's reading 3 and 4 weeks ahead of the rest of her class. Okay, not a problem when we come out here, and then all of a sudden her teachers are telling me that she's 2 to 3 months behind the rest of
You
her
know
class.
they do that to the students that come from California, but them California kids be like,
And I was just like, what are you talking about? She can read just fine. If you guys think she can't read, you're letting a 5-year-old child play you for stupid. Like, you know, this is what I'm sitting here telling the principal. We're school. She's like, well, we tested her the first day she was here. I said, there's your problem right there. And she said, excuse me? I said, you tested the child on her first day of school here. She said, yeah. I said, well, do you remember what it was like to be a new kid in a new school? And she said, well, yeah. I said, you're scared. You were nervous. You didn't have any friends, right? And she said, yeah. I said, now imagine going in an entire new state on top of it. And she's just like, oh, well, you know, maybe we should retest her. I said, yeah, maybe you should. Because obviously she's not going to perform where you would want her to perform, or where she could perform, or where you would even expect her to perform if she's got all that pressure on her. She doesn't know you. She doesn't trust you. So why is she going to try to be everything she can be? If she's anything like her mother, she's going to sit back in the corner and she's going to be very quiet and she's going to observe everything until she figures out what her place in the classroom is.
yeah.
And if you don't give her her proper place in the classroom, it's going to stay that way. And she just kind of looked at me and she's like, well, you know, I never really thought of it like that. And I said, you got to stop and think about what you're doing to it. Imagine being in that child's shoes. Imagine being in that child's shoes before you just automatically say, well, you know, she's reading behind the rest of her class. I think she might have a learning disability. She doesn't have any learning disabilities. She's just comfortable with you. And if you want her to be comfortable with you, then you've got to be comfortable with her at the same time. You know, and it's just, unfortunately, I've seen where the relationships get broke down even between parents and child. It happens a lot.
It really does, and I just, you know, I feel that personally, we just need to develop a relationship. Through all in all the whole conversation we've been going on, it's all about parenting. Bottom line is, how are we going to parent our children, and especially being influenced on other children that are around our children.
There you go. One more time, folks. Before we do dart out in the last 2 minutes, definitely call in, or even if not during the show at hand, call in also after if you do want to, or go to watch the video, Radio Tribune on YouTube, and definitely leave comments as well as just viewing it. The phone number again to call in is 702-984-6843, Radio Tribune. And we're just on, 4th of July subjects of regaling and reaching reminder and reminding within awareness that it does take a village to actually raise a village nowadays, not just a child. But yeah, in that conclusion and in this closing.
Like, thanks, Trina, very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
I'd like to thank everyone that is here in our audience, folks. Thank you again, and happy 4th of July. And it's an honor and privilege to attend this recording with everyone. And thank you for being here again. This was supposed to be each other at odds, but we, as one, as they say, each one, reach one, teach one. And we will be able to drive at that. Love, peace, chicken grease. Always be a beast, not too grizzly. And keep peace in the Middle East, folks. Bless 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.